Hello, welcome to Bad Bitches on the Bad Batch. I'm Arezou from the Geeky Waffle and RZD2.com, and with me
I'm Candace, and I'm also from the Geeky Waffle.
I'm Maggie from Your Money Geek, and also technically the Geeky Waffle.
Not technically, you have a show on the Geeky Waffle.
I know, but it's not Star Wars related, so I was like,
but it's still, I don't.
Neither is straight out of home video.
Yes, this is true.
And I'm Noor-Hal from Twitter.
I'm Alberto. I'm not from the Geeky Waffle, I think, but I'm from the Rebel Pod.
Honorary Waffle.
Honorary Waffle. Yeah.
I'm Conor. Definitely not from the Geeky Waffle.
Honorary Waffle.
Okay, so we are talking episodes 11 and 12 of the Bad Batch tonight, which I guess we're going to call the Ryloth arc when we talk about Bad Batch. But before we jump into that, tonight is a very special night here on this panel because it is one of our panelists' birthdays.
Yay!
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Alberto.
Yeah.
Birthday.
Grogu.
Oh
That's
Alberto.
Man.
no. Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
There's
there we go.
Grogu's like, I know you've been calling me Baby Yoda.
Baby Waffle.
Baby Waffle. Baby Yoda behind my back. So he had to get your name wrong at least the first time. He
Yeah,
said.
I know. I know I call him Baby Groot one time, and he never let that go. So I get it, but it was a long time ago. But thank you.
Grogu
He's
does
gonna
not
live-
forget.
Grogu's going to live for centuries. Grogu holds a grudge.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
he holds that grudge. But no, thank you.
It's
I
a
do
revengeful little thing.
Yeah, he's tiny but angry.
All right. So we have 2 episodes to talk about tonight, both of them set on Ryloth, both of them featuring little baby Hera Syndulla from Rebels, which I know made the Rebels lovers among us extremely happy. So let's just dive right in to these episodes. So episode 11, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Devil's Deal?
Devil's Deal.
Devil's Deal. That's it. Devil's Deal.
Can I just say,
yeah.
Twitter, I'm mad at you. Because I went on just for a second to check my messages, and during Devil's Deal, it was Bad Batch. And it's like, Bad Batch is trending. And it's like, what else is trending? Hera's trending. Do it, Hera.
And it's not just people on Twitter spoiling it. The official account had a video of this up like before lunchtime.
Yeah, it was up at 9 o'clock, and it was this scene.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
if you know me, you know how obsessed I am with Rebels. Like, it is my favorite, like, Star Wars, period. I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back, but, like, it's okay. It's Empire Strikes Back and then Rebels. But, yeah, okay. But, yeah.
you can knock down Empire Strikes Back. It's okay.
No, I do. I love Empire Strikes Back. I can't. But, yeah. Freaking Twitter. Don't go on social media at all.
Never.
Last week was
Never.
hard. It was difficult last week. It got spoiled pretty early with those pictures from her, and then when the Star Wars account just let it loose, it's like, okay, floodgates are open. Everyone just went for it. But yeah, last week is the worst I've seen.
Yeah, I think even the weeks where we had like Fennec Shand show up and when Cad Bane came, like even then I don't think I saw this level of spoiler on Twitter.
This was what Star Wars.
Cad Bane, I had no idea that he was showing up. I saw those boots and I heard that, hey, little lady. And I was like, oh.
So episode 11, Devil's Deal, is not only remarkable because it introduces Hera, but it's actually quite interesting in that the Bad Batch aren't actually in most of it.
Yes.
So,
Bad Batch who?
Is it bad that it's like one of my favorite episodes of Bad Batch?
It was even better than today's episode.
Yeah.
like it's a bit of that odd place because it's kind of, we want to expand the larger galaxy kind of thing, and I get that, like the way Clone Wars did, but then this show is named after them and they weren't there. So
They took the back
Crosshair
seat.
was there. But is
Yeah,
he a member of the Bad
Crosshairs
Batch?
is there. Technically, he is Bad Batch.
Technically.
technically.
Technically,
But does
yeah.
he see himself as the Bad Batch?
And
That's
do
a
they
good
see him as a
question.
bad batch? Because I have feelings about that, and I don't think they do.
Yeah, I got thoughts about that too. When they found out he was, this is again skipping to today's episode. America's like, oh no, it's Crosshair. Not like, oh my god, it's our fallen brother.
They didn't care at all. They're like, well, I guess we're gonna shoot at him again. Yay!
They-
Not
So
our brother who has a chip and's been brainwashed.
Yeah, that's like.
Also, why
they
didn't he
didn't care.
tell Hauser?
Hauser.
I assume Hauser.
I mean,
About
talk about
boy.
waffles after dark
Like,
in here.
okay, not about that part.
This man.
Look at
Why
this
not tell
boy.
him that there's a chip in their head? He's like, I need to save my brothers. Tell him about the freaking chip.
Yeah. And I don't consider Crosshairs anymore part of the Bad Batch. I know, especially the last episode, there are a few scenes that I think he's still kind of conflicted of what's going on, but I don't consider him a part of the Bad Batch right now. But yeah, last week episode, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I know it's the Bad Batch, and they weren't really there. I did enjoy last week. I've had my issues with the show recently, but last week it was pretty good. And I know some people complain, oh, just making the galaxy smaller. I don't think that story made the galaxy smaller because it was separate from. If the Bad Batch were on a job and they run into Hera, then yeah, that makes it smaller. This was a separate story that I think does expand on what this building of the rebellion is.
I want to ask this, okay? Because yeah, I've seen a lot of complaints. Oh, the galaxy's so small because they run into Caleb, AAK, and all this kind of stuff. But when we're in a galaxy that has a mythical force that supposedly is guiding things, do you feel like?
Are you telling me the Force is the TVA?
The
You know what I
Force
mean?
works- The Force works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
The
like
thing is, people can say the galaxy is small, but these people are all kind of operating. They're not day-to-day people. They're not, running some merchant stall somewhere. Like they're all more or less politically involved, and that world is far smaller than the galaxy at large.
yeah, the people who are against the Empire. We're right in that small place where they're going to meet people who are against the Empire because they can't work for the Empire.
Yeah.
And
Right.
as much as I find this small world feeling of Star Wars frustrating at times, just look at like all of us, and like a lot of us have found that we know people who know each other, and like we're
Yes.
not anywhere near each other, yet we have connections to each other, and we've been brought together by the Force.
Well, like
Maggie and I have like multiple friends that we know.
I hung out in Vancouver with a bunch of Candace's friends. I've like
I
pictures
know.
with Candace before we ever knew each other.
Yeah.
Noor-Hal and I have never once lived in the same country. One of my former coworkers is one of her university friends. So like, it's small worlds are a thing. Let's not complain about that on that front. So, Crosshair. Back to Crosshair. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead to today, but I do want to ask.
It's all one story.
It honestly feels like one giant episode.
Yeah.
But right at the end, the end of the episode, when he asks, what's his face? Admiral Rampart, if he can go after the Bad Batch. Is this just me hoping for a redemption arc, hoping that he looked upset at the prospect of having to find them?
Did he look upset?
He looked like
I thought he was excited. I thought
He's like, I'm gonna go find them, and he's all like torn, and he's gonna like fall out and be like, I need help with my brain. Is
Oh
that
man,
just
we
me?
totally
Do you
read that
think-
scene completely
Do you think
differently.
that
I
they're
felt like he
torn
was like
apart?
challenged, or he felt like he got like shown up that day.
Yeah, he seemed like he's ready to go take them out because he's mad that they got away.
Alberto, Conor, what do you think? What do you think? How's Crosshair feeling at the end of this episode?
Connor, we can't hear you.
So I thought that there was some confliction in him. He looked different in parts of this episode, but yes, when he told Rampart, let me just go after him, it's because he knows he's the only one that can track them down and do some damage. So I think he's still deciding. But there was something, maybe the animation or just the way he looked at them. There was still they're building for that redemption arc, I think. But for the most part, he still wants to take them out.
Me
For
clinging
the most
with
part, he
scraps.
still
I'm
wants
like,
to kill
but
his brothers.
he didn't shoot Hauser, and I definitely thought he was going to.
Yes,
So-
I was watching it with my daughter. I thought he's gonna take him out, especially when the Bad Batch left. He's gonna make an example out of it. He's gonna take him out. he just left them. He left them there.
Oh, congrats! He did the bare minimum, not killed him.
Same, Candace. Same.
He got him. He told him to rest all them. Connor, we still can't hear you. Are you actually speaking, or are you pranking us? I'm sorry, I heard you before.
Yeah, we could hear you right at the beginning, but
Yeah.
I'll just go with my external.
oh, there you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I thought Hera's mom was a dead person.
Yeah.
And Hauser.
Elena.
I
Eleni.
seriously thought they were both going to
Yeah.
bite the bullet.
Yeah.
I was so nervous that after the whole conversation with Cham and Hauser, and like Cham being like, I don't trust you. Then when Hauser shows up and's like, don't go out, I was afraid that Eleni was going to go out the door and get shot and killed. Like, wow. And then I was, oh no, now Hauser is going to get shot and killed. Like, it felt like somebody was going to get murked.
Yeah.
We're already like, I was like telling like Arezou, I'm like, I'm so nervous about today's episode. And Arzou's like, why? I'm like, freaking Hera's mom is technically a Disney mom. We know what's going to happen to her. We know what happened.
Yeah, I was fully prepped for her to bite it today.
Do we think they're going to come back this season?
Not this season.
Not this season.
I felt bad for Rex because in season 7 of Clone Wars, Rex tried to reason with Jesse. Hey, the Empire's wrong. Don't do this. He couldn't turn anyone. Hauser goes out there 2 minutes. Hey, what the Empire's doing here is wrong. Just throw down your arms, and everyone goes with him. Poor Rex poured his heart out to Jesse and couldn't get him to turn.
Is it because those people didn't have Order 66?
Even if they all got it, there isn't a Jedi right in front of Jesse. So he can't, maybe like he can't fight it if there's a Jedi right there, but there's no Jedi here. Right.
And also,
Maybe.
one thing that we need to think about is that this guy, I don't know how long has been after Order 66. Yeah. The thing is that maybe they have experience and seen what the Empire is doing. So
Des is right.
Sorry, Arezou.
No.
I made him too much of an a-hole before Order 66.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Also,
redeem it. He doesn't have to be a nice guy. but
Yeah, I
he's gonna
know.
redeem himself.
Just because he's an a-hole doesn't mean he should be like a.
It was the
Brainwashed
shooting the
murderer.
refugees.
But he was
brainwashing.
Okay, but Wrecker resisted for how long before
But
he
Wrecker
succumbed?
didn't have his chip turned up to 11.
I know.
Yeah, but Crosshair seemed pretty happy to do things before that happened. So
I mean, I didn't say he was. He's not like, he's not Rex. He's not Echo. He's not my sweet boy. But like, it's a big jump from my sweet boy to like irredeemable asshole.
I'm just like, I don't want you to get your hopes up just because how the other Bad Batch members don't give a damn about him. That makes me think like, I'm like, you know that, Arezou.
I watched
if
Ben
they
Solo
cared-
die before my eyes. I trust nothing and no one anymore.
If they cared, I would think I would agree and be like, oh, they're setting up a redemption. But they don't care.
they don't care. There's no emotional.
It's gonna be a last minute redemption, and everyone's gonna say it didn't make sense, and I'm gonna be like, you know what, it didn't make sense, but I was right. that's
So,
You were trying to put up the same comment.
Yes.
Crosshair is gonna
Candace
look
and
in the
I-
camera and is gonna
Candace
say,
and I are diet in the force right now. We're feeling it.
The blue and the red. The blue and the red.
what it is.
"Oh my God."
Light side, dark side. Light side, dark
She's gonna
side.
say, "Arezou, you were right."
I will be right. You'll all.
Yeah, maybe they're doing. I would love to. I love redemption. I love it when redemption doesn't equal death. That's my favorite redemption.
That's my favorite kind of redemption.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be great to see it, but I feel like they aren't.
They aren't like you're right. They're not giving
If they
it
cared,
space.
if even one of them cared and be like,
Oh,
Wrecker being a little big-hearted guy and been like, I kind of miss him. He was our buddy. He was our brother.
no.
They have a sister now.
Friendship can replace him so quickly.
What is that meme that everyone does on Twitter? It's like friendship with so and so over. I only know.
Friendship with Crosshair ended. Omega's my best friend.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I do hope they make him bad. I didn't click with Crosshair when he was part of the Bad Batch. I do like him as part of the Empire hunting them down. So I do hope that they keep him down that path all the way.
I like to hate characters like that.
Hate with a passion, yeah.
I know who Candace was enjoying today.
Yes, my murder droid
Chopper is so
buddy.
good. Agent of Chaos.
is my favorite droid in all
Love him.
Star Wars. I feel like I can't understand him. Like literally his speeching, I know what he's saying, and it's a lot of curse words.
Oh,
And that's why I love him.
Is this the first time Chopper is killed, do we think? Or is he
No.
killed before?
He's killed
No.
before.
Okay, first season.
I
He gets jealous of a droid that's from the Imperial thing, and like Sabine's like, we should keep him.
No. This
And
is like earlier in the timeline. I mean,
Okay,
like
yeah.
the first time in his life, not the first time we've seen it. We have definitely seen this droid commit murder.
Okay, I was
before.
about to say, I'm like, you
No,
know,
I-
Chopper
Which one is that?
Chopper
Like,
came
this
out
droid
with
has
two
murdered-
blasters. and
He
was
has killed
rolling
before and
around.
he'll kill again. But like
I think
in
this
his
is
lifespan.
like the first time we've seen it chronologically, but like the first time in his life,
He was
he's done it
battling.
before.
He was
He's
he
done
was
it
with a
before.
Clone Wars pilot. They were
Yeah,
murdering
with a
people
pilot.
probably.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a-
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
So he's an experienced murderer. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually a serial killer droid.
But he's
He's
also
got
a nanny droid. Like his
Yeah,
hair
he's
is like
definitely-
nanny too.
I know.
And I love it
He's
so
the
much.
Norman Bates of droids.
Okay, Hera's parents are
Nanny's
not
voice
allowed
the
to be
worst.
surprised that she ended up the way she did when her nanny is a murderer.
I agree.
And just like he's nannying Jason while she's off like doing rebel stuff.
Teaching Jason how to murder.
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh,
kid
yeah.
had evil in his
Jason is a
eyes.
cold-blooded murderer now.
Murderbot. I love
Murderbot,
Murderbot so
yeah.
much.
Our wonderful
He's just so
Murderbot.
cranky and old. I love him.
So sort of speaking about Hera and her whole deal.
Yes.
Cham Syndulla. This might be just me misremembering things, but I feel like this man has never known peace in his lifetime. And here he's like, let's just be peaceful. So it's the Empire's fault, possibly, that he just hard lefted, turned back into radicalization, if that made sense. Did anybody else get that vibe? That had the Empire not shown up, he would have been like, this is fine. Peace. Maybe.
He was willing to work with that. Oh God, what's that senator's name? Who?
Ta.
Or
That always
Oh,
annoys
yeah.
me. Yeah, Senator Shaw. He was willing, like in Clone Wars, to work with him.
Yeah.
He was willing to do. Yeah, you're right. He would have, I think,
Yeah,
especially
I
with
think
his wife, who feels more level-headed than he is
Yeah.
actually.
it's
Even
pretty
though
much
she's
like
the one who's
this
like
song.
working with Gobi G.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
telling her daughter to go off and meet some mercenaries.
Yeah, I think I still think he wouldn't have known. He would have known peace. I think it would have been temporary, but I don't think he would have been as radical if the Empire wasn't there. It's basically the Saw Gerrera question of like, if Steela doesn't die, how does this change him?
Right.
Saw Gerrera is perfect and has never done anything wrong in his entire life.
Lies.
I mean,
Deception.
He abandoned little Jin, so
I'm gonna press X to doubt.
Yeah. I read Rebel
Jen-
Rising
Jen
last
Erso
week
can
or
say some
2 weeks
stuff.
ago, and no. Saw did a lot of things wrong. So I'm on
Oh,
that
yeah.
kick that
I
no,
need to
no,
reread
I understand what you were trying
Perfect.
to do, but
just also watch his arc in Rebel.
It's
Rebel,
Where like
yes.
he's like radicalizing Ezra and Sabine, and Hera's like, oh no.
I've been here before.
a good arc.
No, I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, points were made in that arc because
Points were very much made in that
there
arc.
is no rebel who frustrates me more than Mon Mothma.
I
So
hate her. I would say bad
Yeah.
words if we weren't live right now.
I thought it was bad bitches at 10.
Honestly.
Anything can go now.
You take out Mon
So, I mean,
Mothma
so
and put it
during
on, like,
that,
Okay. Here's the
Yeah.
quick. I'm gonna get a little bit, but who would you despise more, Mon Mothma or Lina So?
Lena So.
Lena So.
Easy.
at
At
this
least Mon
current
Mothma,
moment,
is, the thing about
Mon
Mon Mothma,
Mothma,
she's
but it's
trying.
Just trying. Yeah, I will give her that.
She's trying. She's doing her best. She's just too cautious. And that's what I don't hate her. She just frustrates me.
Yeah, she's very frustrating.
I don't trust Lena So.
I'll save my comment for tomorrow's show.
This is just a warm up for tomorrow.
It's a warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. But now going back to the original question, yeah, I think Chan would have helped or work with the Empire because he's at a point that he's done. Like you say, he's been fighting his whole life.
I know.
He needs a break. He's a family man. He wants to finally do something for his country, and then it's like, yeah, no, screw up.
I know. And exactly what you see when
accurate.
the senator starts in the Devil's Dare episode that he addresses the people, and then Cham Syndulla addresses, and you see like he's kind of willing to work, like, yeah, let's collaborate, but obviously, yeah, it seems conflict won't escape.
Well, you can definitely see, like, if Cham is willing to even just for a little while work with the Empire, why the other planets just so easy fell in line, because they were just exhausted from the war.
Yeah.
They had nothing else left to give. Palpatine is brilliant. I know.
Just get everybody too tired to fight back, and then make it seem just marginally better, and they'll go.
Be like, yeah, you're so thankful the war's over. You're willing to have a dictator.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really liking about this show is the growth of the Empire, how they're taking over some places so easily. At the beginning of the season, we saw people just celebrating, oh, the war's over, the Empire is here. And now we start seeing that change. And that's what really interested me about this show. Then the main story, which is the Bad Batch, is the one I'm still having issues with. What's the main what's the main storyline? Because it's kind of shifted, at least for me. But that Empire growth and Crosshair going after them, that's what really catches my eye. The rest is I'm still battling with it.
Oh, I'm so excited when Crosshair's like, oh, can I go after them? And like the guy's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, we're getting somewhere. Let's get them. I want that conflict. I want them interacting more. I want them just to be in the same room together. Maybe have more of a convo than they did in the few episodes ago. When it was just like, hey, Crosshair. Hi, Crosshair. Bye.
One thing, like, sort of to Alberto's point about, like, what is the main story here, is we had, in today's episode, not last week, but in today's episode, we had Cham and Lenny telling Hunter, hey, do you want to, like, join the fight? And once again, Hunter's like, no. Yeah. So, cool. Hunter just really doesn't want to join a fight. This is, like, the third time they've asked him. He just wants to kind of keep his squad, his brothers, and his sister safe and out of the fight, and, like, that's fine. What does he want is what's frustrating me, because
we don't know.
What you don't want is not enough of a motivation.
Does he not know? That's the thing. He doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't, but we haven't spent enough time with him for him to be like, I don't know. I
have no idea.
And here's the thing that I find frustrating. This is like the second time now that they've helped somebody that they should be like, hey, so one of our brothers is doing some stuff. You should hook up with him. And like the Rex connection, like why bring Rex into the story outside of the chip? Wrecker's chip, and introduce this idea of them having the choice of sticking with doing the Sid stuff or going with Rex, and then even having that reinforce the episode after that when Echo brings it up again, and then not have them make this connection when that feels like the natural thing. Like the episode before last with Abby Singh, now with the Syndullas, like that connection is theoretically there, but it's just not connecting the two plugs together.
No, it's just like adventure of the week, but where on the story is pushing them or what steps they're going to take forward.
The thing is, if it was just purely adventure of the week, the way like Mando season 1 was, that's fine. But then they keep stumbling into really big key players in the fight for the freedom of the galaxy, and it's like, but then you bump into them and you go, so you're just kind of dipping into galactic history without ever actually staying there. And I don't know why you would intersect when all you want to do is tell an adventure of the week style story, because there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
is it Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, Star Wars edition?
It is, though.
It is.
I'm like, they're just like walking by and it's like, oh look, there's Hamlet. We're gonna go off and talk some philosophy.
Which is like kind of what Mando season 2 was too. Yeah. Like, which I actually like Mando season. Like I really enjoyed.
Dan was as clueless as those two.
But that's what he is. He just keeps Rosencrantz and Guildensterning his way through the post-war Republic.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, can we just like talk about how great Freddie Prinze Jr. and Vanessa Marshall are at like playing so much younger versions of themselves?
Oh my god!
Like at first, I was like, "Wait, is that Vanessa?" I don't know if that's Vanessa or not.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah.
like,
I was like,
I was like, did they get a kid to do that?
I thought when they saw like, oh, Vanessa Marshall's back, I'm like, oh, she's playing a Letty. That's so cute. Like that's what I thought.
Mhm.
That's not what happened.
that's what
I
I
know.
thought too. Yeah.
But no, Vanessa,
And
she's so talented.
and it was so cute to see Hera like daydreaming, thinking about becoming a pilot. That was so lovely.
That was adorable.
And her theme, it was amazing. Like kudos to Kevin Kiner for his work, and also it gives some vibes of the Princess Leia theme.
I was just gonna say, did you notice like it was sort of almost like running parallel a little bit?
Yeah.
I love that we saw Omega's room again.
Yeah, she's so
Yeah.
proud of it. They're so cute. And it's just like a child would do. Be like, this is my room. This is my stuff.
It's funny. She says something like, "Yeah, it's a gunner station, but we're not shooting people. Then it's my room." It's like,
Oh,
This kid is
A
so
little
casual
violent,
about
but-
all the murder
Casual,
they do.
Yeah.
casual.
Oh yeah, I was talking also to Arezou about this, about like how it was just like heartbreaking. If you remember the context, that Hera actually had a younger brother. We know because when Thrawn steals the
Calicori.
Calicori, yes. And Omega's like, they're my brothers, and Hera goes, "You're lucky."
Yeah, that was a great line for Rebels fans.
Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me of that, Candace,
Thank
because
you.
it would not have landed at all if you
Yeah.
hadn't.
I hurt Arezou's feelings by telling her that I think Jason was her younger brother's name.
It hurt my
Oh my
feelings.
That's my
God.
headcanon.
I like that better than we picked up a
A random
Legends book.
EU name.
a Legends book and decided to throw a bone to the EU fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tech doesn't understand people.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second. I was talking about this Maggie.
I'm
I was
not going
talking
to
about
say
this with
anything.
Maggie before we started, but one thing that frustrated me with Tech is that he starts off when they get Hera's message in episode 12. He's like, "Well, kids overreact," and they're like, "No, they don't. We're gonna go help." So they go help, and then Hera starts explaining her plan like down the line when she's like, "This is the refinery, and this is what we break in." And Tech's like, "Yeah, okay, I get that." And then he's kind of going along with what the girls are doing, and then right at the end, Hera's like, "Mom, Dad, Tech taught me how to scramble the signal of a ship." Like, that's really cool. And that's really sweet. And this is not the first time we've heard Tech teach a kid something, but we've never seen him do it. So what I wish we could have gotten in this episode, maybe 5 minutes less of a chase scene and like a couple minutes of Tech teaching Hera a skill she's going to be using through the rest of her life.
Yeah, we see her. That's why it's called the Ghost. It's because they scramble all their symbols, signals, and stuff like that. They're
Tech
literally
is
a
the
ghost.
reason they call it the Ghost, and
That's-
we don't get to see that happen. And I wish we had.
Yeah, Tech does say like, "Oh, she's overreacting," even though she literally says, "My parents are taken by the Empire.
That
I
line
need help."
made
Like that's
me
overreacting.
so angry.
It's
I
like
reacted so viscerally to that because I'm like, you have known one child, and that is Omega, and now you're saying like children are prone to overreacting. I'll show you overreacting.
Dude
I'm
read it in a
not-
book. That's all he's done, and that's
I'm not the greatest Tech fan, but as someone with kids, young kids, they do overreact.
But Hera's
Well,
not
he
even
was
that
right.
young. Hera's not even that
She's
young
11.
though.
I have
Yeah.
an 11-year-old daughter. I don't know how
15 years.
old Omega is, around that age. She doesn't overreact that much. But yeah, I sometimes that landed with me. As a parent, yeah, you're right. But yeah, there comes a point that kind of goes away.
oh, look at that.
Look at my
Look at
sweet boy
Echo's-
Echo, so determined to go help immediately, and nobody's
I
even
know.
Look at Echo's
I know.
concern.
Echo's like, "Let's do this."
Echo is ready for action. I think we've seen that since that episode with Rex. Because he brings it up in the next episode about like we could have gone with Rex, we could be doing something.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel going back to this Bad Batch and Crosser not having that conversation when Hunter says, "Oh, Crosser's here. Sorry, we're gonna leave. You're screwed." It's like,
Oh, wait,
really?
Hera's 11
One
there.
person already. Sorry,
11?
Yeah, she's 11.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just doing math because she's 24 at the beginning of Rebels, and then Rebels takes 5 years before A New Hope, and New Hope and Revenge of the Sith are 20 years, so that's 15. So 15.
I was told there would not be math.
Nice.
It's
There
Star
is
Wars
going to be a
math.
test at the end of this episode.
And then then Caleb is like 14.
14,
Yeah,
yeah.
that tracks.
Yeah.
So
14, 15, yeah. Sorry.
Alberto, to your point about Hunter being like, well, Crosshair's here, bye. Like twice this episode, he had to be reminded that you don't get to just leave when things look bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a strange choice because I thought he was finally starting to get the idea of like, okay,
Yeah,
help-
after
we help people.
The Spice Girls.
Spice Girls, yeah.
so yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Interesting. All right.
What are everyone else's thoughts?
Ah,
Are we mad at not Crosshair? Wow, Hunter for 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
We don't know what Hunter wants.
I know.
Hunter
It's
doesn't know what
like
Hunter wants.
he doesn't know what he
That's
wants.
the issue. Is like
Yeah.
when he was like saw. Oh God, what's his freaking name? Hauser. Sorry, I know you all love him. I love
Hot
him too.
boy.
But yeah,
Look at him. Look at him.
He's
Hot
beautiful.
boy. Look at him there.
okay. But it was just like, why didn't you tell them about the chips?
Yeah.
Why are you telling that to every
Exactly.
single clone you meet? By the way, there's a chip in your head. You're being controlled. That's not a fun thing to happen.
I think to the question about what Hunter wants, this might be very nitpicky, but I know that like the fact that it keeps being brought up, like this whole issue and like the question of what does he want keeps being discussed in terms of like all of us on Twitter or in conversations, I think comes down to potentially the writers not knowing what Hunter wants. Because I know when I've written things and I didn't have a really clear understanding of where I was taking a character or what the character's motivations are, it tends to come up very naturally that whatever motivations that you should be digging into start to kind of appear around it. So I think it makes sense that we're seeing that, like, where is he trying to go? Like, what is this character's purpose? Where is he headed? And so I'm hoping now with these like next 4 episodes, as we're getting to what should either be the end of the season or the end of the series, we don't know if there's a second season, I'm going to assume there is, that we should start getting to what motivates the next launch point. And so I'm hoping that we see him make that decision because it feels like it's hovering around him, but it's not in him yet.
Yeah.
I thought like initially that Omega was the motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And
Same.
like keeping her away from Camino and keeping her safe and like cool. But that hasn't been a problem for a few episodes now because
It
Conway
seems
is dead and Fennec's gone and like Cad Bane, they slashed his tires. So like you know what I mean? Like they're not being pursued right now and they've paid off
Yeah.
their debts. They could in theory leave Sid at any time. So now it's like, well, what is that still an issue?
it seemed like his plan originally was like to go to a planet.
And just lay
one-
low.
Yeah, lay low. Like that was the whole thing is lay low, lay low. They're not laying very low.
But I
He has a
think it's
really odd idea of what
They're
laying low is.
liberating Ryloth.
I mean, I guess compared to what they're used to doing back, for the Republic.
Yeah, this is
like-
their definition of that.
yeah.
I think my issue with Hunter is that he was kind of set in the first episode as this father figure for Omega, and she still kind of sees him that way. But I've never felt him being this father figure to her. He's seemed more like a caretaker. He was never that father figure to her, even when he was trying to take care of her. As soon as she said, "Oh, I just want to be out there with you guys." Okay, come on, I'm sorry, let's go. It's like, no, there has to be some more, another type of motivation, how you take care of that person, trying to keep them safe. Like, Omega was kidnapped twice, once by Fennec Shan, then
Yes,
by Cat Bane, almost a third time. And right then, as soon as that episode that she said, "Oh, I don't want to stay here, I want to be with you guys." Yeah, okay, you're part of the group, let's go back. I don't see that type of father figure from him, even though that's what we're, I think, kind of told to believe that he's this father to her. I've never seen that from the way he's been acting towards her. It's just like, yeah, you're here, we're kind of taking care of you, but apart from a couple of interactions, I've never felt that from him. And I think that's part of the issue I
Yeah.
have with him. Is what's his motivation going forward? I still don't see it as taking care of Omega in that way. I don't know. I'm having some trouble with it.
Bucky disagrees strongly with you.
But
I know.
that
We
was her
heard that.
father.
No, but yeah, Arezou and I we're also talking about this before. It was like it's definitely like a older brother with a significant
Age gap.
Yeah, age gap. Like we've seen that with our friends before. It's like just a sibling that's like 10 plus years older. Like how they're kind of in between like an aunt, uncle, brother, sister kind of thing.
I do think it's funny though that Omega is older than the rest of them, technically. So I do think that's
That's a good question.
maybe.
Do you think Hunter changed his mind when he discovered Omega is a clone of Django?
No, I don't think that played any part in it because even like among all the clones, they're all clones of Django, and even then Hunter would know like they have varying skill levels, and he also knows I don't remember. Did Tech say she's like unenhanced? Like he did say that.
Yeah, unenhanced, that she was born
She's
in
pure
Europe.
clone.
Like, yeah.
But do they consider her one of the unique?
Well,
Yeah.
they're unique in that she's not raised as a trooper and also is a girl. Like she's different, but she doesn't have like enhanced senses or abilities or anything like the rest do.
Are we sure? Because she's a very talented child.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm asking. Like, did Tech
That's what-
say that, or am I making this up?
Heck, remember he says, "Oh, they
They were
said
two.
there were
Yeah.
there were like 4 or 5 of the enhanced or something clones."
And that she's the 5th one.
Yeah,
Right,
because
right,
it'd be
right.
like Echo's like, "I'm a reg. I know I have this cool like robot arm, but I'm a reg."
Yeah.
No.
And he's the best
That's
boy.
a good
I
question.
know Echo
Yeah,
with his
it's
little
true.
like he's like telling Harry's like, "This is what the Empire does," kind of thing. It was like, yeah, Echo.
Oh,
He gets it.
Echo's a sweet boy.
If anybody ever needed a hug,
I
it
know.
was Echo.
I volunteer as tribute.
They don't clone without a purpose.
I know.
Oh, I want to know what the purpose was for Omega.
That's a
Will
good
we find
question.
out this season?
Yeah, because
Probably.
here we have two situations. Is that she's an unenhanced, that she grew up like normally like Boba Fett, but she also was enhanced like Tech said. So we have 2 situations in the same.
But we
Omega.
talked about like how she picks up things so quickly from all
Yeah.
that batch. Like she was able to. God, I have only seen these episodes once. I'm sorry, I have not had the desire to go back and watch. But like Hunter's incapacitated, he's like passed out or something, and she goes and she finishes the job. She finishes the identities that Tech couldn't finish really quick when
Yeah.
Cut's trying to get off planet with his family. There's a number of things that she just like sees. Or remember the shot in the first few episodes? They're like, I never shot a blaster before, but
And
she
she
was
did it
able to like
right.
shoot like Crosshair. I really think she has like all the abilities of the guys.
Yeah. It's very
I mean,
I don't know.
Same.
Yeah, out there on Twitter and myself were saying, "Oh, she's some type of mimic," because she was copying everyone's kind of posture,
She's
the
a
way they were standing, and
Taskmaster.
Yeah. just things. You know.
Yeah, no, it's because she wasn't being trained in Camino, right?
No, she's
No.
a medical assistant, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't. But like clearly, she keeps sneaking off to see stuff. So
Yeah, so she
was
might be watching training. Maybe she's like her droid and her are getting in trouble, you know, been like, hey, let's go to the training field or something.
Mhm.
yeah.
Practice.
Because that kid is like way too resourceful to have been confined to the medical bay her whole life. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Clone Master.
Who knows?
Yeah.
She's also the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
She's
Although,
I was reading an interview with Vanessa Marshall, and she's just like, she was so happy to see Chopper again. She's like,
Aw.
Chopper is there.
I mean, yeah.
Chopper is love. Yeah.
Chopper is love. Chopper's a crazy little psychopath. But yeah. Oh, do you think she might be force sensitive? I hope
I
not.
hope not.
I hope not.
Oh no.
I
I'm
really
so tired
hope
of
not.
Pearl being talented because of force, but I mean, I'm talking about her being cloned, and that's why she's talented.
Well, no, but like they're all like they're all like that. All the clones are
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
all the Bad
That's
Batch.
not Omega, who is the only one talented because she's cloned. But like, especially if she's like special because she's Force sensitive, and then God forbid she's actually like a Palpatine something or other, which I know they said a Jango clone, but maybe they messed with that. I don't know.
They said pure Jango clone. So unless Jango is going to suddenly be a Palpatine.
At this point, Maggie.
No!
I will remove myself.
So,
Somehow
okay, so no.
Palpatine
So the Palpatine thing is like out the window, but I would love it if, somebody's enhanced abilities were not attributed to Force and their genetics belonging to a very powerful man. Because
first few episodes, I kind of thought, she maybe has some Force abilities or something, but at the last 6 or 7 episodes, I don't think so. But at the beginning, I was like, maybe she's Force sensitive.
Yeah, if she was Force sensitive, I'm pretty sure we would have seen hints of it in these last few episodes.
We've had like a Grogu with the Mudhorn moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Where did they say where Cham and Hera and Elena are going?
No,
they just said they're leaving.
We know they're not going to join the rebellion because Cham
still
is
have the.
Cham's going to come back at some point to try to.
They have the Twi'lek rebellion.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Lords of the Sith.
Lords of the Sith. Yeah.
And then Eleni has to die, and then Hera has to leave.
Mm-hmm. Hera leaves in 7 years.
7 years.
Or glad they have the next few years together before misery.
Yeah.
New Dawn. Sorry, that's one of my favorites.
New Dawn is so good.
Can you guess why?
No.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
I hope it's still canon. I love that.
It is.
Yeah.
No. Dawn,
Lords of the Sith is canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because Lords of the Sith, because Orn Free Taa features in it pretty heavily, I want to say. It's been a while since I've read it. So when he was shot in the episode last week, pretty much a lot of people were like, well, crap, Lords of the Sith just got completely just retconned.
He could still be alive.
And then like this episode showed that. Well, not show it. It told us like he's making a full recovery.
I mean, they're only told us he's making a full recovery. We haven't seen a body.
Still.
Oh yeah, and we were.
I think he's still alive. Like somebody told me they saw him like moving at the end of last week. So
yes, and Taa lives. Like the Imperials say that like, what is it called? Says he's recovering. Yeah, promptly.
Yeah, he's making a full recovery.
Yeah,
actually,
even though he was shot in the freaking head.
In the temple, no less.
They would have no reason to lie, only because they're like attempted assassination, but you could get them a lot worse on actual assassination. So if he was dead, they'd probably just say so, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And I don't see them wanting to kill him since he was so cooperative,
right,
with the Empire, and they want at least one of the Ryloth leaders to still be kicking.
That's how good a shot Crosshair is. If he missed anything important when he shot him right in the head.
Vitals, yeah. I think just the Leku. One of the Lekku.
Well, there you go.
Must have been like a lower blast or something, right?
That could have been it too. That was what one of my friends was saying. Was that maybe he turned down the intensity?
Yeah. Because that's like, unless the Twi'leks have like their brain somewhere else.
It looked pretty intense. From my point of view, it looked pretty intense, buddy.
That's what I thought. I thought he was dead, and then somebody's like, "Yeah, he's moving." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess not."
Yeah, like I didn't know about the whole Lords of the Sith thing because like I'm trying to reread that book because it's been forever, and so everyone was like, "Well, Lords of the Sith is completely retconned," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" So I go on Wikipedia and like, lo and behold, he features pretty frequently in the story, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
this is gonna like to me at least." Orn Free Taa dying, if that happened, would have been an entirely different level of retcon to say the Kanan stuff in the first episode. Because, like, the details changed, but the broad story structure is still there. Orn Free Taa dying would have just... We would have had to throw out the whole book at that point.
Right.
But
I wonder if they animated him being shot in the head. They're like, guys, this book.
Somebody comes running into the room and goes, wait!
And they're like,
make him twitch, he can't be dead.
Quick voiceover. He's fine.
I think Star Wars Explained, I can't remember how he put it, but he did a video on Orn Free Taa's fate. and like how for people that just watch Bad Batch, that just will watch Bad Batch, they're like, oh, he's dead. But like, because of the whole, but that like attempted assassination line,
Yeah.
you know, that'll be a bone to throw to the people who actually read anything like Lords of the Sith.
Yeah.
So
Like, I have a question. My friend just finished Clone Wars. Should she go to Bad Batch next, or should she go to Rebels?
Rebels.
Rebels.
because
Yeah,
it's
what-
complete. So
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only is it complete, but it'll give further impact on the Bad Batch with Caleb
Yeah.
and with Hera.
With Hera.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a better show. Sorry.
Yeah, it's much better.
I mean, Rebels
Yeah.
is just top tier Star
Rebels
Wars.
is
Well, she's more character focused than like
Then
plot.
she'll love
She prefers the
Rebels.
plot. Yeah,
Then
that's why I love
definitely-
We'll
Rebels.
definitely love Rebels then.
yeah.
I also think like for somebody going through Star Wars at any stage for the first time, release order is usually the way to go, only because they'll go backwards and add references somewhere that you might pick up if you're watching it chronologically, but probably won't. And it'll land
Yeah.
better when you watch it. So
Yeah.
first time out the gate, release order. If she wants to do it again, then do it chronologically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I do it too.
Yeah, like the
Same.
very first scene of Bad Batch with Caleb and Debo, like that wouldn't have hit the same way if you didn't know that what happened with Kanan, even though still a little miffed about that scene.
I know.
A little.
A little.
I'm
No
super
way.
2.5 months, Candace is mad.
Man
Yeah.
took away Asian woman's big moment. Not happy about it, y'all.
I had to watch that in 4K.
Do it on
Just needed to
Dreamcast.
say, I'm right behind you and lie to Caleb, just like Kanan lies to Ezra. And I think that's when Kanan realizes why his master sacrificed herself for him, and he accepted it, and also is like, I love Ezra also. So like that kind of thing.
I can't believe Candace wrote off the Bad Batch 20 minutes into the first episode.
No, 5 minutes in.
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in. I was
Well,
like,
that
wow.
sequence felt long, but you're right. 5 minutes. 5 minutes into episode 1, Candace is like,
I think
hate
I've done
show.
this monologue before.
I think
But
you
I-
have, but go
Yeah.
for it again.
Yeah.
Do
I
it.
have,
Do it.
I have feelings. As a half Indian child growing up in Phantom Menace, seeing Deepa even in the background without speaking was like really cool. And like my dad noticed her and stuff like that. So she's obviously been like a big thing. And then when Rebels came out and it's like that was Kanan's master. And then the comics, okay, sorry. Okay. Just, you know. When you've lived with a head with canon for so long and then they're like, that canon's wrong. It kind of like I'm the TVA, y'all.
I don't blame you. It
Why
is very
do you-
I don't
frustrating.
blame you.
Why do you think Maggie and Noor-Hal and I hate The Rise of Skywalker so much? Because it said, what canon? And they made the movie anyway. So, anyway.
I don't think so because I think Kanan/Caleb is staying the hell away from any clones he sees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
same way.
But do you remember, like, well, Hauser was probably one of the people like Kara was talking about when Kanan's like, oh no, they're clones. And she's like, you know what? There were some really good clones that helped out my family and Ryloth.
Oh my gosh, you talking about Hauser?
Talking about Hauser and probably the Bad Batch too. And
Yeah.
Omega.
The best.
Why is
I liked
Rampart
how-
keeping... Go ahead.
What?
I liked how with Hauser's clone rebellion moment, it kind of reminded me personally of the alternate scene in Last Jedi between Finn and Phasma.
Ooh.
It's what we wanted for Finn.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
That too.
we
Love
What we
getting
want,
Stormtrooper
sir.
rebellions everywhere, but where we needed one.
Okay.
Alberto,
Alberto.
what were you saying?
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say, if Rampart hates clones so much, because we saw that in episode 2 or whatever, why is still keeping Hauser for such an important role in Ryloth? They're trying to take over the planet, and he still keeps this clone for all
I-
this important mission. Just get rid of him.
I
keep
think
going.
because he's got a good relationship with the family.
And he's also like, if he's seen with Cham and Cham seems to trust him, then the people are going to be like, they know that clone.
It's just a lot less effort to get everybody to fall in line willingly than to force them to
Chama
do
de
it.
Syndulla's already in prison. Get rid of Hauser.
That's why Hauser's in prison now too.
Oh,
Yeah.
And hopefully doesn't die.
I mean, there is no guarantee.
It's too hot.
Is he
I don't
okay?
okay?
want him to
I'm
die.
worried.
He is too hot to die. You see, Alberto gets it.
It's so
Mhm.
hot.
Way
That
too hot
Yeah,
to die.
Rex.
and
There
They,
you go.
I mean, he is. I mean,
I
come
hope
on,
off
he is.
camera, Bad Batch calls Rex and be like, "Hey, by the way, there's some like clones that might want to be picked up."
Yeah, can you go pick up some people?
Rex
Like,
is
no.
like, oh, fine.
Very nice.
Rex
Yeah.
is like, can you help me with that?" And they're like, "No,
No.
bye."
Break out. Bye.
Poor Rex.
But yeah, it would be fantastic if that happens.
Yeah, I would love to see more clones just being like, we were fighting like droids. We weren't meant to like fight people. And these are the people that we
were-
spent,
were
especially the
fighting
older
droids. We weren't
ones.
meant to become them.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
older ones who had been like at the beginning of the Clone Wars, like, and a lot of them, like Hauser, were like stationed in the same place. Probably got close to the people, just like him. I would love to see more of that. And you know what? The
Yeah.
Bad Batch could have been like those people, like trying to be like, "Hey, we don't agree with the chip thing either. We're here, helping out clones." But
now,
Rex
Nope.
is. Rex is doing it on the side,
I know.
right? He's doing it on
What
the
do
side.
we think the deal is with Hauser's chip?
I don't think
That's
Order
a good
66 was
question.
ever.
so
I don't think Order 66 was ever like.
So you don't think everybody got the Order 66 call?
Not if there wasn't a Jedi around.
So here's my theory. I talked about this a little bit on Outer Rim Beacon, so Arezou's heard this previously. But I think that considering what we saw with like Wrecker and what we saw with Rex, we know that when there's an emotional attachment to whoever they're around, that it doesn't necessarily work to its fullest extent. And so I wonder if, since they established that he's obviously very close with the Syndulas, they fought alongside each other. He was very close to Hera, it seems like. He's obviously dealt with her adventures before. That there was something in regards to that prevented it from going into like the fullest extent, especially since they're not Jedi, that fail safe of like just following orders didn't quite trigger for him. But it seems like it triggered for most of his troops, but not all of them. So I think it might have something to do with like emotional attachment, because I mean, it didn't work completely for Rex. He was able to hold off a little bit. Wrecker was able to hold off for days.
There was still like a lot of clones on that ship, like Jesse, who knew Ahsoka and loved Ahsoka.
But maybe not.
But it was because it was a Jedi too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as,
but maybe not enough.
They weren't as close as
Rex
as
and
she and
Ahsoka.
Rex were.
Yeah, I think it must be like the older clones, right? The ones who had
Maybe the
been
older
there,
ones.
fought side by side with the Syndulla family on the freedom fighters.
It's the ones that have good trauma bond.
Yeah,
think
that war bond.
That's what
Cody,
keeps it.
Cody had some bond with Kenobi. He just blasted them. I hate Cody.
Cody felt nothing.
Cody was like, I've been waiting to be bad.
Cody's like, oh,
There
great,
you go.
an excuse, and draws his blaster.
Y'all be
Cody-
careful.
Cody,
Cody / Obi-Wan is like one of the biggest ships on Archives of
I
Our
don't
Own.
care. Cody said, I'm done with your BS, Obi-Wan.
Now you're picking up your lightsaber.
Kenobi
Like your cloak. His cloak. He's like, I'm always picking up
You
your
drop your
cloak.
cloak everywhere. You can't keep your hands on your lightsaber. Like you are just a mess. And I'm
And you
ending
always
this
bring
today.
Anakin around.
You
and
cannot
I'm done
keep
with
your
it.
lance and your lightsaber. That's
Maggie's gonna say, I'm on the light side.
Cody was just waiting for an excuse.
Poor Cody. He was Rex loved Cody. They were bros.
they were brother. You were
Let's
my
be nice to
brother.
Cody.
You were my brother.
No, we like Cody, but we're just saying Cody
Oh, I
had some
love
frustrations that were exacerbated by the chip.
I know. He
Cody
was
said, "This is
done.
my-
He was
Order
my
66. Hey, remember every moment that Obi-Wan made you just like, jump off a cliff or something.
Cody's like, you know what?
Oh
He
my
said,
God.
there you go. That's my chance.
I love this so much.
Okay, so final thoughts before going into the next 4 episodes of the season. Expectations, hopes.
I'm excited now that we're finally going to get that Crosshair and Bad Batch, like, duking it out. I'm hoping that's what we get in the next few episodes, but I kind of think it might be in the last 2.
I feel like that should have been a plot line established earlier in the season.
Yeah, it should have been like this cat and mouse chase game.
Yes. Should have more interactions earlier, but well, Let's see what it comes.
Yeah, Cody's like, I'm out to kill more Jedi. They piss me off.
Cody
There
had
you
a
go.
taste for Jedi murder and he wants more.
He's gonna be in the Kenobi series.
Whoa.
Is this like a scoop or are you just saying?
I'm just saying.
Okay, I don't know.
I have no scoops.
And then tomorrow,
Yeah, just
Candace from Hickey Waffle Scoop.
yeah, it's gonna be in all the scoop things. Sources say, trusted sources. I'm not a source.
What he said. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucky,
I
what do
am.
you gotta say?
Yeah, well, one thing I have to say is that I really love these 2 episodes from the point of view. I mean, I know the first one we didn't have as much of the Bad Batch, but I loved having more exposition on Hera Syndulla's story. I think she's the best pilot in the galaxy. I'm sorry, Han Solo. I'm sorry, Luke Skywalker. But no, I like having more of her backstory. But yeah, let's see what brings in the next first episodes.
It just shows why she like was so attached to Ezra instantly and was like,
Yes.
he's ours now. We're taking in this orphan from the street. This is our child. You know, just seeing like what she was going through as a kid and all that kind of stuff.
I'm with Candace and Conor. I just want to see more of Crosshair and the Empire going after the Bad Batch. To me, that's what makes the show. For me, I know a lot of people out there just like it for other reasons. For me, that's what's most interesting. That's what I want to say. Yeah, the building of the rebellion. We have Rebels. We have Rogue One. We have the Andor series coming that I think have that covered. I expected to see something different from this show. And I hate Cody. So Cody's the worst.
Poor Cody.
Yeah, I just want to see.
He didn't finish the job. He shut him down, and then
Are you
I'm
mad
done.
he didn't finish
I
the
gotta go
job?
back to Coruscant. Someone else deal with this, and then he pops up. He's a Jedi. Stay there. Make sure he's dead. He's like, no, I got a thing back in Coruscant. I'm leaving.
I can't believe the reason you hate Cody is because he didn't kill Obi-Wan.
He didn't do
Wow.
his job correctly. He
Yeah,
had
I know.
orders. Good soldiers
I
follow
think
orders.
we're seeing that Alberto is actually on the dark side.
I think
Oh,
I
so.
know,
I know,
right?
he's always my guy, but come on,
No
Cody,
wonder
you
Grogu has this beef with him.
I'm coming for him.
Whoa.
I almost forgot about Grogu.
I feel like here's the thing. I think Alberto is on the light side, but Roberto is on the dark side.
I'm like Gollum and
Dyad
Smith.
in the Force.
I like that.
Yep.
Switch between the two.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see just the rest of the season play out and then really just to be able to watch it like from the first episode to the last without having to wait every week for the next release, so then I can see like how it all really connects from beginning to end. Because I'm gonna be honest, like the last standout, quote unquote, standout episode to me, like from beginning to end, was Replacements. Like every episode after that has been pretty good. I don't think there's been any bad Batch episodes. They've just been like serviceable at worst to me and pretty freaking good at best. It's not bad. I'm enjoying it, but it's no.
They're gonna babysit Sabine next,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
hang out with Ezra. Help out with the
Honestly,
radio
give me
program.
young
there.
Zeb.
I
would
actually
love
wouldn't
to
mind
see
if they
young-
saw like the Lasat. before
I
they
mean,
go.
Zeb is 50 in Rebels, so
He's an adult.
what?
He's an adult here, so like,
Yeah, he would be out of nothing too. But yeah,
get involved in something.
I wouldn't mind Zeb.
Same.
Lasat doesn't fall for a couple of years.
Are we going to see Hot Callus?
Hot Callus.
Hot Callus, yeah.
That's
Hot
a-
Callus is
How
Hot
old
Callus.
is Hot Callus though? That's just fun.
He
Or maybe
must be in
they're
his 40s
gonna-
in Rebels, right?
He's in his
Yeah.
40s now. We could see Hot Callus first enlisting.
Or maybe
he could
they're
be
gonna-
working with Crosshair.
He could be
Yeah.
working with Crosshair.
Yeah, there's some
they
of the
can-
the new
That
people
would be
that
a
we
good
haven't seen
duo
their
to see.
faces of.
Or next they can stop by Lothal and meet baby Ezra and his parents. I don't know.
See, he's not even born yet. He's an egg.
And then the Bad Batch just like, hey, you should go hang out with these other people we saved.
No, but wasn't
I
he
like
was born in Empire Day?
Who?
Emperor's Day.
Ezra?
Ezra's not
Yes.
born yet.
not
Ezra's
born
no,
yet.
Ezra's born.
It's
No,
born,
see?
yeah.
He's born.
Yeah.
No.
He's
was
born
born-
when the
it's the
Empire's
same-
created.
Yeah,
the
it's-
year after.
No,
No,
Because
it's
Luke,
the
no,
same
isn't
age.
he a year younger than Luke and Leia?
no, he's
Yeah,
exact.
same age.
He's like a day or two older than Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
He's 3 days older than Luke and Leia.
I thought he was a year younger
sure
than them.
Yeah, he was born
No.
Empire Day
No.
19 BB1.
Trust me.
Yeah.
The rotation of Lothal is slower than where Luke and Leia
Don't even
was,
get me
so-
started on planetary rotations. I'm
Wait,
gonna start crying.
y'all, rebels. Who knows their rebel stuff?
Yeah.
Fine.
He's
Yeah,
the
okay.
same year.
19.
Thank you,
You're
Maggie.
right.
Thank you. Yep.
My apologies.
Yes, because he turns 15 in season 1, and that's his first year
Yeah.
with them, and he's like 15 years of the Empire.
Right.
So can you have Kalos and Hauser in the same episode? Is that just too much?
Oh,
There's
Or
too much
hot
happening.
to handle.
hot.
Bring it.
Does Callus have the
Give
button
it to
chops
me.
already?
He's got a hint of them.
The hint of them. He's got the sideburns. He's got extra sideburns.
The hint
Gonna-
of the
who's
of the
coming
beauty
in?
to come.
Nice.
All right. So on that note, I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. So Candace, where can people find you online?
They can find us at thegeekywaffle.com, geeky_waffle on Twitter. Our Patreon. I remember, Darcy. I remember.
Yes.
Patreon.com/the Geeky Waffle. We have Waffles After Dark episodes that are very inappropriate.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We have to put them behind a paywall.
Thank you for
Because-
blocking. I'm right in the middle of this. So.
Yes. You're getting covered in syrup.
Oh.
Next week, our Marbles F Mary
Mary Snap.
Snap
Yes.
will be out, where we go into details about some stuff.
Although surprisingly, a lot of consensus.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
was
anybody
really
saw coming.
surprising because our Star Wars
Yeah.
one was not.
No, we would have
But that one is
fighting.
also up. If anyone is interested,
Yes.
the Star Wars one gets very syrupy and very spicy.
They said stuff about Kit Fisto. I can't forget.
And I'm not sorry, and I'll do it again.
Alberto Conor. Alberto
like,
especially.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Radio Rebel Pod.
He's like, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving right now.
Podcast. And tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have a live show with these two out here with Arezou and Maggie talking the Rising Storm. It's gonna be something. I'm already regretting it, but we're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow.
Do you
So
know
make-
how much Martian Ho-ness is going to be on that show?
Whoa.
Oh
my.
I'm going to have my popcorn.
The
I
fact that
want to have an idea, but probably not.
The
No,
fact
you
that
are
my
not
review was
prepared.
Like,
I'm
whatever
talking.
poor soul will bring me on. They're
Yeah, let me read the reviews, and then I read that sentence. Oh crap! What have I done? It's
I
I
right
was
was
there.
talking
completely
to them
forgotten
about the
I put
High
that in.
Republic. Somehow it always goes back to Martian. And I'm like,
Because it's all he's the big bad,
And
It
he's
was
so
pretty good.
hot.
and he looks good. Do
Look
it.
at him.
you guys put him off.
Look at him. Look at him. Tell me that's not
Look at this
beautiful.
guy.
Look at him.
How do you already have this ready to go? It's like right there. Boom. He's ready.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, yes.
It took 13 minutes for Ben Solo to be mentioned in 2 days. Hey, thank you again for having me. For this I shut
That's a
down
new
lot.
3PO.
Before this, and
Oh
it wasn't
my.
in.
Okay. So Candace is also
Wait,
at
Maggie?
Candace is the Geek
Maggie
on Twitter.
hasn't gone yet.
Maggie.
Hello. I can be found on Twitter at Maggie of the Town. I have a link tree in my bio where you can find all of my various pursuits. I just had a new episode of Starbucks Lovers with the Geeky Waffle that came out this week, so be sure to check that out if you are a Taylor Swift fan. I also have a giveaway coming up soon on Let's Talk About Star Wars, so be sure that you're subscribed because I think it's a pretty cool prize that should be coming in tomorrow. And yeah, lots of things going on, lots of writing, lots of stuff. Lots of fun.
Awesome. Okay, you can find me on Twitter. I'm Noor-Hal. You can find me on Twitter at Noor-Hal, where you can see my link tree on my bio with all the stuff that I write about. I also talk about Marvel, Star Wars, TV series, rant about music, upload my covers, acoustic and music covers on my YouTube channel. So just take a look.
You can find me on Twitter at DevaBanana, Instagram at ConmanJFO, Facebook, I admin a Star Wars Facebook group called the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics. I write articles for StarWarsEditorIG.com, my most recent one being an interview with a very, very cool Star Wars writer that I've been wanting to talk to for a long while now, so go check that out. And I podcast with the Nerd Academy podcast, specifically Knights of the Nerd Republic. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, our website, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever.
And you can find me at Arezou on Twitter. You can find me hosting Space Waffles on the Geeky Waffle Network. I got an episode coming up next week. And you can also find me at my site, arzud2.com, doing mostly Star Wars book reviews. We've got 2 High Republic reviews out now. Out of the Shadows will be out shortly. But before that, we've got 2 back-to-back posts about Revenge of the Sith. So that will also be very exciting. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We will see you here in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yay.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Alberto.